Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Gamer Guild podcast, your one-stop shop for all things in the wide world of video games. I'm your co-host, Cody Robertson.
And I'm your co-host, Noah Bowers. Today, we'll be talking about some of the new releases and the latest nominees for this year's Game Awards.
That's right. We'll cover all this and more right here on the Gamer Guild podcast, but please welcome this week's guest, an AU junior communication major, Isabel Brown. Isabel, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm a huge fan of the show.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Yeah, we've had a lot of classes together, Isabel, so we know each other pretty well. We've actually been on a couple podcasts together too for some class projects, so been really fun. Really glad to have you. Been wanting to have you on here for a while, so good to have you. Thanks for being here. So Isabel, you probably know this already. The first question we like to ask every guest on the Gamer Guild podcast is, what is your favorite video game and why?
Final Fantasy 14.
Boom.
Yeah.
No hesitation.
No
Let's go.
hesitation. It is one of, well, it may be in competition, but Final Fantasy 14 is it was my gateway. Like, I don't count Minecraft as my gateway because that's like everybody's like beginner game, in my opinion.
Too mainstream.
But like Final Fantasy 14, it was the first one that really enthralled me. I am a big music person, and so the music was stunning. I thought that the character creation was amazing, and I fell in love with the story. It just combined all my favorite elements to one. Although I will say honorable mention to Slay the Princess.
Oh, okay.
I will not shut up about Slay the Princess. Slay the Princess is an amazing visual novel. It's a love story, but it's also horror, and it's amazing. Choose your own adventure.
That's
a new one, right?
Interesting
yes,
one.
that one came out last year.
Okay, yeah.
Pristine Cut dropped in October, and so I've been playing it nonstop.
Nice. That looks like a good Steam Deck game for me.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of those that'd be really good, like on the go kind of games. But yeah, talking about Final Fantasy 14. Now, did you start at Realm Reborn, or did you play at the very beginning in Final Fantasy 14?
So I got Final Fantasy 14 whenever Shadowbringers dropped.
Okay.
And so technically speaking, I am in Shadowbringers now. I finally reached Shadowbringers. It took me forever. I started in 2020 and I've just kept playing. I know Dawn Trail just dropped, and I got it, but I haven't reached that point yet. But I have played throughout like the base game and the following expansions.
Nice. All right. Yeah, because, you know, everybody says it was awful at launch, and then Realm Reborn came out, and it was way, way better. So,
Yeah.
and like a lot of more people started playing it and stuff like that. Now it's way successful, which
Huge,
you know we'll
yeah.
talk about later how successful it is too. So, awesome answer, Isabel. No hesitation. I like that. The conviction in her voice. Final Fantasy 14, man. That's it. That's the one. Awesome. I've been curious about it. I'm a big. You mentioned the music. I'm a huge Final Fantasy music fan in particular. 10 is my favorite Final Fantasy game.
Fair.
And just the soundtrack really got me. I played it on the PS2 when it came out, and it was just, oh man, so good. And even Final Fantasy 16 when it came out last year, I definitely voted for it for Best Soundtrack in Game Awards. And I don't think, no, I did win. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it won Best Score. But so good. Every time a Final Fantasy game comes out, the soundtrack is so incredible.
Yeah, they knock it out of the park.
Oh yeah,
every time.
I listen to Sailor Sleeps for me to go to sleep. Because it's just so calming, and I have a soft spot for Limsa, because that was my starting city.
Okay.
And so I just love the soundtrack surrounding Limsa and the surrounding areas.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, but also like Heaven's Word is my top tier for the best soundtrack out of Final Fantasy 14 in total.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, sweet. Well, let's get into some of the new releases for this week. There weren't very many, but there were two pretty big ones, and they both released in pretty bad shape, and we're going to talk about it here in a minute. Here's the first one. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 came out Tuesday, November 19th on Xbox Series X and PC because it is a Microsoft title. It's a $70 video game, but they're doing their awesome pricing tier system that we just love so much, where you can pay $100 and get some extra stuff. It's by Asobo Studio, the same studio that did the first version, or the previous version of Microsoft Flight Simulator. They also did, I did not know this, they did Hellblade. Did you know
Really?
that? Asobo Studio.
Huh.
Yeah.
I did not know
now,
that.
I'm sure it's a different team within the studio that did it, but it is the same studio, so that's kind of interesting. So here you go. It's the newest version of Microsoft Flight Sim, the very, very long-running flight simulator series. Here's the deal, though. When it released, it was broken to the point of where you couldn't even uninstall the game.
Oh.
Reviewers could not review it. It came out 2 days ago, and it's still no Metacritic score because people cannot play the game. I think people just yesterday are able to actually play the game for the first time. So now review scores are finally kind of starting to roll in. I haven't seen any yet, but yeah, it released in an abysmal state, and they're kind of blaming. They're saying they're blaming the server response. Which is kind of a weird thing to blame it on. This isn't a first-person shooter, or it's not a Call of Duty or anything like that. So, it doesn't have that big server draw.
Right.
And these are Microsoft servers we're talking about. So it's like, I don't really buy it. I just don't buy it. I think it shipped in a broken state, and that's why we wouldn't have problems installing the game if it wasn't fundamentally broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't really buy the server story. Now there were problems when people did install the game of waiting in really long queues. That is a server problem. So there you go. But yeah, I'm really upset about this. I really like Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's one of the most innovative series of all time. One of the most realistic. People actually use it for pilot hours, for training hours. You can literally use it to get a pilot's license,
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. You can actually do that. Obviously, it has to go through all these requirements and certain things.
Right.
And you can't just use a controller and get your pilot's license. But yeah, you can use that program to do real training and things like that. So it really, it really bothers me to see it released in such a broken state. Isabel, any thoughts on Microsoft Flight Simulator? Have you played any flight simulators at all, ever?
So, no, but I have seen some people play it. So if I'm thinking of the right thing, it's people piloting different planes and jets and helicopters, yes?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. My thought, this is just a stupid thought, but you know how there's that joke where it's like, oh yeah, we have to keep the tomato in the game. It's the only thing holding it together.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, oh, what if they forgot the tomato?
Yeah, I guess they forgot the tomato.
Yeah, something must have been completely broken. I mean, if people not even able to launch the game, that's crazy. Especially because I'm just surprised because this is just an iteration of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Like, they already have the framework, right? They didn't just develop this completely from scratch.
I don't know all the details on the engine they used. I think you're right, though. I think it's the same engine, maybe, and so the same framework.
I would assume so.
I would assume so as well. I don't actually know. Here's a little quote from Asobo CEO of the CEO of the studio. We knew the excitement was high for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, but frankly, we completely underestimated how high, and it really has overwhelmed our infrastructure. Like I said, they're kind of blaming the server infrastructure. Like I said,
But they know that they're the pinnacle of flight simulators. Like, casual to like professional simulators alike. They know like Microsoft Flight Simulator is the one that you are probably going to download and try out.
Right.
So, I mean, they should have known that there was definitely going to be some influx of people trying to get this. And the fact that they're charging $70
Yeah.
Ooh.
and it's dropping and you're not able to even run the game. I mean, yikes, Microsoft. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, so as a result, the Steam reviews are overwhelmingly negative right now. So there's goes the review bombing on Steam once again.
Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. So I guess I won't be checking this one out, but it is on Game Pass if you have it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, at least we can try it if we want to. So if I hear that it's fixed, I might check it out because I really think Microsoft Flight Simulator is pretty cool. And the 2024 version looked pretty good, I thought, from the gameplay footage I saw, or from the earlier footage of previews and stuff. So yeah, just really disappointing to see it super broken like that. It's just kind of crazy.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's like Boeing made it or something. I don't know. Good one.
Hopefully they'll get it up and running.
Yeah, hopefully.
Without needing any whistleblowers to bite the dust before that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's strange.
Yep.
Microsoft. They've been talked about a lot on this podcast.
They
and
sure have.
Not
They
as
sure have.
very positive light as of recently.
Pretty mixed Microsoft, I'd say. Well, speaking of broken releases, let's talk about Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. That came out yesterday, Wednesday, November 20th. It's a $60 video game, not quite full price, and that is from GSC Game World, the same developer that's made all of these Stalker games. This was a very highly anticipated sequel to there were 3 Stalker games before it, but from what I understand, they were kind of like little expansion type
incremental stuff.
Yeah, they were kind of incremental, not really full sequels to the first Stalker. So the last one came out 15 years ago, so it's been a while. Fans have been waiting for this for a long time. It's got a 74 on Metacritic, so kind of mid, higher mid, I'd say. But it was delayed several times due to the Ukraine war because the developer is based in Kyiv, Ukraine. So they had to leave at one point, from what I understand, and relocate somewhere else. So lots of delays for that. Now, like I said, broken launch, right? This was extremely buggy at launch as well. So people were going to Steam for the same reason and kind of tearing it apart. It's not at the level of Microsoft Flight Simulator where you can't even install the game, but it does have a lot of noticeable bugs, and it is detracting from the experience. That's kind of the consensus on the reviews of what I'm seeing, which is a shame because this game was highly, highly anticipated. Noah, did you play Stalker at all? Are you familiar?
Yeah, so I played the original one a long time ago, back when I was in like my Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas era, and I was just like super obsessed with the post-apocalypse, and Stalker was another one of the main titles. Played that one. It's super unforgiving, so I gave it up after a while because I think I was a lot younger, so I was a lot worse at video games, and I was like, this is just crazy hard. But it's super interesting, and this one was in my wish list.
Oh wow.
So I was ready for this game to drop, and so I was kind of disappointed when it came out, and all of the live streamers that I watched, YouTubers, and people that I was waiting to review the game, once it came out and they were like, yeah, this is almost unplayable depending on what you do. Yikes. It was tough to see. I'm confident that they'll be able to bounce back from this, though. They've already been very open communications with the dev team has about the struggles that they've had with the development and their plans to improve it in the future. So I'm not too worried about it. But if people are waiting for this game, I'd say wait a little bit before the actual title update comes out to make sure everything's on the up and up.
Yeah, I've never delved into Stalker at all. I've heard it's very hard. It's very, very difficult. Yes. And I heard this one's no different. Not just because of the bugs, but because the gameplay is actually hard. Never tried it, but let's talk a little bit about buggy game launches. Can you guys think of a good example of a game that you bought that you just were really disappointed in how buggy it was and kind of a mess? Can you guys think of anything?
I think I have one, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I think, but this one maybe wasn't necessarily the game's fault. It might have been like the system I was running it on. But I bought the new Guardians of the Galaxy game on Steam. The Marvel's like the original spin-off type thing. Yeah. I think Square Enix developed it. And I tried to run that on my PC that I game, with everything on, and it was just completely like super choppy, like 30 frames a second, even on the lowest settings. It would stutter and like crashed over and over again. And I was like, I paid $70 or $60 for that, and it couldn't even run on my system. So I got it refunded through Steam. But that was like, I was excited for that game, and it had a fun story and really cool mechanics with the characters. But when I bought it, it just didn't work on my system for some reason. Didn't like what I was running.
Yeah, I guess not. That's funny because I've played Guardians of the Galaxy. I played it on PS4.
Okay.
And it ran really well. So I guess, it's just a bad port or something for PC. It was
weird.
Yeah. Which happens a lot.
And I was trying to look online to see if other people are having the same issues, and it wasn't really a common occurrence. I think it was just something, maybe my combination of CPU and graphics card just
didn't have the tomato.
Nope.
Didn't have the tomato.
It's broken.
Got to put that tomato in there, man.
Yeah.
Always. Got to do it. Isabel, have you played a broken game? Now, I know Final Fantasy 14 does have a lot of stories, but you joined a little bit after that.
Yeah. So I personally haven't had really any problems. Well, possibly golfing with friends, but that's like a whole nother issue. That could have just been my potato laptop at the time. I only recently got a really nice gaming laptop because it was no longer functioning well for school or gaming, my old laptop. So I got a new one that is meant for gaming and I can use to play games on. But I did hear from a friend they had issues with the Five Nights at Freddy's security breach whenever it was first open.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh. You wouldn't think that one would
I love
get
the
you.
FNAF games.
Yeah.
They're so
I've
good.
never played one. I'm sorry.
Never played a single one?
That's like... I'm a millennial, so I feel like that's a generational thing.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because that came out when I was in like middle school.
Yeah, so I feel like millennials completely miss Five Nights at Freddy's.
I have 1 and 2, but I've only ever played 1, and I've never like played it through because I am a lot more jumpy than I expected. And I only made it to like night 3 because it wasn't me playing; it was my best friend.
Okay.
And so we had, it was, I can't remember if it was for my birthday or if it was just a general hangout, but we all sat huddled together over the computer screen and just
try to beat it.
Yeah.
Just try to get through it. That's funny.
I couldn't handle it.
Oh, man.
They're good. They're super fun. And that's one of the few franchises where I thought like each game kind of like introduced something new. Sometimes it didn't work. Like the fan base was kind of like, go back to the original FNAF. But they introduced new stuff that I thought was really innovative for like the formula that they gave it. They didn't try and like stick to the same thing. Scott Cawthon kept trying to like add new stuff or change the formula a little bit to keep it interesting. And I thought it worked. It was really fun.
Which one's your favorite?
That's a good question. It's probably FNAF 2.
FNAF 2?
Or FNAF 4.
Those are good ones.
I like FNAF 4.
This may be a bit like of an, not hot take, but like an odd take, because I heard not very many people like it. At least folks that I've talked to. Sister Location. It's different from the others.
It is very different. That's a good one too, though. I really like the story in that one.
That's probably why I like it so much, is because of the story.
Yeah.
While as like the first one, while it has some lore in it, it is like a jump scare game.
Yeah, it's just for scares. Yeah, that one has a lot of lore, a lot of good like vocal performance and stuff too. Trying to think, what are some of the other ones?
Pizza Simulator was also pretty fun too.
I haven't played that one actually.
That one, I like you're making your own pizzeria bit, but obviously like the mechanics for the scares bit, also freaky because there's no protection from your sides. Have you seen a playthrough?
I haven't.
So with Simulator, you have your computer right in front of you, and then you have 2 vents. You don't have any doors. So you have to play sounds and such to try to distract them or shine a light to pause someone. But the thing is, because you need money to make stuff for the pizzeria, you can get sponsors.
Oh.
Your sponsors will interrupt your computer stuff, and you're frozen stuck watching your sponsor while
That's horrifying.
The animatronics are moving around in the vent system. And
Dystopian.
It's great. That's what I'm saying. They introduce a lot of like new mechanics with like each game and kind of tweak it a little bit to, I think it has something for everybody for the horror genre.
I agree.
I'll play it and then I'll be considered cool amongst the kids.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
I actually played a Roblox spin-off of like FNAF 1.
Really?
Where you weren't stuck in the office, but you could like roam around, and it was like co-op. So there was one person like in the security cams to like watch you, and then the other person had to like go throughout the location to get like specific things or like turn the power on and stuff like that. And you had to avoid the eyes of the animatronics. They had like little light rays. So if you were in their sight distance, you'd be like screwed. Oh, that one was scary. That one had like scary sound effects, stuff like that. It was really well done for a Roblox game.
Nice.
There's some gems in Roblox.
There are.
Before it got taken down, I was a big fan of Pokemon Brick Bronze.
What was that?
So it was I guess bootleg Pokemon game in Roblox. Like
nice.
it was a Pokemon game on Roblox, and then it got taken down like after a year because copyright.
No.
Imagine that.
I was devastated. I had a shiny Espeon. I was super proud of it, and it's gone.
They took away your shiny Espeon. Oh no.
Nintendo strikes again.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
Speaking of games with storied histories and games that get a lot of awards,
here we go.
Let's talk a little bit about the Game Awards nominees. Yay! They were just announced. Hooray! I love the Game Awards. I love talking about them because this is kind of what started the podcast.
Should we do a watch party for the Game Awards?
I think we should, Noah. I think
that
you're
actually
right. We're gonna tentatively schedule that. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, there you go.
Like
Isabel, you were here when this happened. Yeah, take a note.
I will definitely take a note. I would enjoy being a part of the watch party.
That'd be awesome.
We're gonna do it. Awesome. All right. Well, let's talk about the nominees for the Game Awards. It's going to be December 12th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can just find their YouTube channel for the Game Awards. They'll usually stream it. But other like gaming journalist outlets will usually have a little watch party stream.
Oh, yeah.
And also the Gamer Guild is going to have a watch party. So, we'll get you some info on that coming up here in a minute. All right. Let's get into it. The big one first. Game of the Year. Here we go. Astrobot.
Banger.
Balatro. Ooh.
Surprise.
Black Myth Wukong. Thank you. Here's the controversial one. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree. Okay. So an Elden Ring DLC.
Okay.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So a sequel to a remake. Also kind of a remake. Metaphor ReFantasio.
Okay.
Okay. So what do we think? What's our initial reaction?
This is an interesting list.
It is.
And I probably don't agree with this.
Okay. Which one specifically?
I don't agree with Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Yeah, me neither.
Sorry, Elden Ring fans. And don't hate me, Isabel. I kind of am not a fan of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as well.
What, being on there?
Yes.
Ooh, so do you not consider it because it's a remake?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
I think
that's a little spicier.
It is spicy because it's not like a DLC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is its own game, but it is a remake. So I kind of feel Game of the Year should be a new game that released this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fair criticism.
I think it's fair.
What do you think, Isabel?
I think I'm going to disagree with you on the point.
Okay.
Because I feel like because it is a remake, they add and clarify different things. So it's not the same game that's been made with new graphics. They've added some other stuff to it from as far as I'm aware. And because of that, I think it can stay on. But it is a fair criticism for it being a remake.
That's valid because it's not a remaster.
Yeah.
Or like a remaster, it's just a new skin on top of an old game. This is like they've added content, they've redone some stuff. So
yeah, but I do agree with I do agree with the DLC though. I don't think that should be on there. Yeah. If it was a separate thing, I could see it. Yeah. But you need Elden Ring first to play it, as far as I'm aware.
You need Elden Ring first. Not only do you need Elden Ring to play Shadow of the Erd Tree, you need to beat 2 bosses in Elden Ring at a specific point in the story.
Yep.
So it's not like you can just play Shadow of the Erd Tree. So like, I don't know if Shadow of the Erd Tree's Game of the Year because I can't play it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't like it being there because it's DLC. I do agree with you, Isabel. I think Final Fantasy VII does deserve to be there. I felt the same way about the original remake, the first one. I think here's the deal.
So I'm the bad guy, is what you're saying.
Yes, you're
You're not the bad guy. It's just a difference in opinion.
I'm just a chill guy with an opinion. So I think it should be there because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth should not be in the same category as like Silent Hill 2 Remake. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Silent Hill 2 Remake is like almost a shot-for-shot, quote-unquote, remake. It's not, but you guys know what I mean. It's definitely more so than the Final Fantasy VII remakes. The Final Fantasy VII remakes are ground up, and not just in terms of graphics, like the Silent Hill 2 remake and gameplay, but the story has changed slightly. Also, the gameplay is different. It is not a turn-based RPG anymore at all. It's not. So it's so wildly different. I think that it should be considered a different game. If you play Final Fantasy VII on the PS1 and Final Fantasy VII on the PS4, the remake, you were going to have 2 completely different experiences. You might get the same story beats, but completely different experiences in terms of gameplay. So I don't think you should. I mean, I just think Final Fantasy VII Remake is such an exception to the remake rule. You know what I mean? Like Silent Hill 2 Remake, if I saw that in here, I'd be like, okay, I get why people would be upset about that. That is a true remake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rebirth, I think, is a fair term for a subtitle. You know, it is a rebirth of that game.
It also goes kind of hard, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah, that's what's the name? Yoshi P. That's Yoshi P all the way. Rebirth, Reborn. He's all about it. Yeah. Yeah. So I like Final Fantasy VII being there. I also. We'll talk about predictions in just a minute, but yeah, Shadow of the Erd Tree, I'm with you guys. I don't think it should be there. I'm hearing a lot of Elden Ring fans say it should be there. It's got as much content as a game, but it's an expansion.
Yeah,
that's just the bottom line.
It should have been like either in a best DLC category. Yeah. I would even be happy, we'll talk about it later, but in the best ongoing game category.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's a little different because it's not live service, but still. I think
Phantom Liberty, I think, was nominated in that category last year. I'll have to check that, but I'm pretty sure it was best ongoing game, not
Cyberpunk.
I think you're right. Phantom Liberty. Yeah, because there's not a DLC category, but
there probably should be, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too. A DLC / remake, that kind of, or maybe keep those separate too. Actually, they're pretty different. DLC expansion.
Yeah, expansions, DLCs.
Maybe we should make an expansion to the Game Awards.
Maybe the Gamer Guild should have their own game awards.
I don't play enough games for that. I can't possibly commit to that. That means I have to play every game that's come out.
Well, we could just make our own decisions on it. We don't have to play every game.
We'll do a Game Awards for games that we played this year.
You think every judge on the Game Awards has played every game on this list?
That's why they have a panel of like hundreds of people.
No shot. No shot.
That's why they have a huge panel. So yes, they have played every game.
You can do some.
We don't have hundreds of people.
You can do one from games that you already own and are your favorite.
We can just do like a backlog Game Awards. Like, okay, that'd be kind of fun.
Like at the end of the year, do a little recap.
I've played like 3 games.
Well, then that's easy. And my favorite is here and my least favorite here. Well, but you can't even say that because they're probably all pretty great.
It all falls apart. It all falls apart.
Not all of them have been great.
Yeah. Well, okay. So those are the games, the big game ones. Of the year games. Okay. What do you guys think? What is your prediction that's going to win game of the year? I got mine. What do you guys think?
I'm torn between Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Astrobot, simply because I heard a lot of good things about Astrobot. Yeah. I've seen that the graphics look pretty amazing. So, like, I think Astrobot is a pretty strong contender.
Yeah, I agree.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Nice. I'm bouncing between those two. If it was my vote, it's probably going to be Astrobot.
Okay.
Really interesting gameplay. Exceeded expectations. Because I remember when we first talked about it on the podcast, we were kind of like, okay, we'll see how Astrobot does. And then it releases. We have our episode the next week, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're blown away. This is amazing.
I think it's rated 4.9 stars out of 5.
Wow. It's a 92 on Metacritic still, so it's really, really high. I mean, crazy high. I'm going to go Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think that's going to win. And I'm a little torn between for second. I think a lot of people are going to want Shadow of the Erdtree to win. So I'm torn between Astrobot and Shadow of the Erdtree for second. Not that there is a second, there's not, but that's just for me.
There should be.
Maybe, that'd be a little consolation prize.
Everyone gets an award in my heart.
I also just want to say, before we move on to the next topic, super excited to see that Balatro and Metaphor made it.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Really, really good decisions.
We talked a lot about Metaphor. I didn't really get a chance to talk about Balatro, but it's, from what I understand, a poker type card game that's also a roguelike, so it was really interesting. And it's got a lot of fun crossovers with like Castlevania and some other fun things with like little character skins and stuff, so that's pretty cool.
Really nice to see the indie games getting shouted out on the main category. Very interesting.
Good stuff. All right, here's the next category: best game direction. So Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII, and Metaphor ReFantazio. Hey, that sounds familiar.
I don't really understand the difference in that category.
It's like best picture versus best director.
Yeah, but like we're saying metaphors. I don't know. Black Myth Wukong. I think that one's good. I think there needs to be some more story games in here.
Agreed.
I think there is a best narrative category.
But if that's best narrative, then best game direction is just, I guess, visual.
I guess we don't understand the definition of game direction, I guess.
Best narrative is a category.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But okay.
I don't know. It just seems a little redundant.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird one. It's also the exact same category.
And it's the exact same nominees. So
I kind of hope Metaphor wins for this one just because it's kind of an outlier and they did really well.
I agree.
So, there you go. What do you think, Isabel? Any thoughts on game direction?
Again, I do have a bias towards Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's valid though. I really liked Wukong too.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I'll be honest. I haven't been as active in the gaming world for a bit because I've been so focused on school, so I can't really make a good decision.
Nerd.
It's really hard to preserve a 4.0. Shush.
I don't know. I guess whoever's going to win Game of the Year, maybe he'll get this one. Who knows? But it'll be fun to see who's going to get it. I hope it's either Metaphor or Black Myth Wukong. I think that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I think my prediction is going to be Black Myth Wukong for game direction.
Yeah.
Because the cinematics in that game, insane.
Yeah, really
insanely
nice.
creative and really fun to watch. So really
I'm glad
like
I'm getting all these game recommendations. I need to add some stuff to my wish list.
Don't. It's too big already. I promise you, it's too big. All right, here's the next one. Best ongoing game: Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. Baby.
Woo.
All right, what do we think?
Democracy.
Yes.
Heavy hitters in this category.
Oh yeah.
Serious heavy hitters.
Sheesh.
Isabel, I think I know which one you're gonna pick. So-
Yeah, fair. But I will also say, I heard extremely good reviews about Helldivers 2. My brother's been talking nonstop about it.
Yep.
And he's been chanting for democracy
Nice.
throughout the house occasionally. So
Get him indoctrinated early, Yeah. Yeah, we played a little bit of Helldivers too. I played a little bit with my friends too. It's pretty fun. I kind of did fall off it after a while.
I did as well.
It got a little repetitive, and I was like, okay, I get it. And they didn't add enough for me, in my opinion, to keep me there. They kind of added the mech suits, and then that was kind of the last big thing they did. But I really liked it. I'm also kind of a casual fan of Destiny 2, but I didn't play the final shape, so I really have no opinion on it. I played a little bit of Diablo 4. I thought it was pretty good, and then they pulled the whole your class has to refresh and everything at the end, and so we didn't like that. But I'll go Helldivers too, because it needs some representation up in here, I think.
Sorry, guys. I think I like Final Fantasy 14 for this category. I think if anybody probably deserves it this year, it's probably Final Fantasy. But I think my vote's not going to go to Helldivers.
All right.
Not going to go to Destiny 2. It's going to go to Fortnite.
Whoa. All right.
Ooh,
What's been
bold.
going on with Fortnite this year?
Bold.
A lot's been going on with Fortnite.
Okay.
And to be honest, a lot's been going on with Fortnite for the last many, many years.
Yeah.
They are at the forefront of everything when it comes to ongoing game. I mean, every live service game has taken their formula directly from Fortnite.
Yep.
Battle Pass, seasons, everything. They are the benchmark for that category. And I don't know if they've won it before in the past. I'm sure they have. But I think they deserve their recognition on like a main stage like that, because they already have the commercial success, the casual fan base success. So a lot of people are going to be like, Fortnite, really? But I mean, they put in a lot of work creatively behind the scenes to make sure that they stay relevant with their demographic, and they iterate constantly to introduce new stuff, new crossovers, new maps, new game modes. Even just the sandbox that they have, Fortnite Creative Mode by itself, is an insane addition to a game. Then you had the Fortnite Rocket League Racing, which is really interesting, and the Fortnite Lego World. And now they're about to partner with Disney to have like their Disney universe involved in it as well. That hasn't officially released yet, but I think Fortnite just takes the cake in terms of content and staying power with the rest of these games on the title.
All right.
I could be persuaded, but I have a preference for story-driven games because that's just what I get drawn to. So Final Fantasy, Destiny 2, and I've only heard things about Helldivers 2, so I don't know how story-driven that one is, or
Not very.
not very.
You know what? They actually have a pretty decent satire built in there. It's not. There's not
very
a lot of
tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, it's not very story driven, but they have a direction that they're going for it.
Sure.
And it's a good theme.
It's very derivative from like Starship Troopers and
Yes.
it's just stuff that's been done before. So you're like,
Warhammer.
okay, it's
Gotcha.
just like, all right,
Okay,
I get it.
understood.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna skip around here because we're gonna run out of time if we do every one of them.
Oh, yeah.
So let's do best narrative. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Ooh, here's a good one. Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, which I forgot came out this
I
year.
was wondering when we were going to see it.
Yeah, January. Metaphor Refantasio. Ooh, here's another good one. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Okay. Silent Hill 2, and that's the last one. All right, what do you guys think? Best narrative.
What do we think, Isabel?
I haven't played any of these, so I
I have not played any of these either, but I think I have my vote.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just from watching.
I haven't played any of these either. So I just have preference from what I know, but because I do want to play Silent Hill eventually. Like, I heard good things about it.
I think that one's going to be my vote.
Okay.
I think Silent Hill 2 probably should win for
Interesting.
best narrative.
Now that's a remake.
It is.
So winning best narrative would be kind of, I think, a little weird because it's just an adaptation of a previous story. You know what I mean?
So is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
That's true.
But not a direct retelling, but the story is, I'm guessing, mostly the same.
I'd put it in the same category.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna pick Metaphor again because I want to see.
I like that pick as well.
Yeah.
I think they deserve credit.
But the Like a Dragon narratives are also really good, I think, and really whimsical and funny.
Yes.
Very unique. I don't know anything about Hellblade, so
that was a complete flop on
Yeah.
release, unfortunately.
That's kind of what I heard. It's a shame. You know, I might try it out. It's like 5 hours and it's on Game Pass, so we'll see. All right, here's next one we're going to talk about. Let's do best score and music. Astrobot, good pick, I think. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade being on here is crazy.
Nice. All right, what do you guys think? I'm gonna go my tried and true Final Fantasy VII, baby. Let's go. Yep.
Yeah. Also, I've never played Stellar Blade, but that sounds like a really cool title. So, what have y'all played Stellar Blade?
I haven't played it, but it's a very like stylish character action game. You know, very hack and slashy, very fast action, stylized like anime guitar solo type thing. You know, that kind of thing. Very fast paced.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. So I like that kind of stuff. I think it's fun. But Final Fantasy VII is just, I mean, the soundtrack is so good.
I think I'm going to go Astrobot with this one.
Hey.
For best score
that's
music.
Not bad. That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
I'm excited that they got nominated in that category. They would have my vote. But the other ones are all deserving.
Yeah.
Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy VII, Metaphor, best score in music. Yeah, that's going to be a tough category to choose.
Love this category.
What's the next one that you want to look at?
I want to do best adaptation.
Yes.
So
thank you.
I know you want to talk about this a lot. Here we go. And I haven't seen this season yet, so don't say anything. Arcane, which just came out, the new season.
Cinema.
Yeah. Fallout.
Also
on Amazon
cinema.
Prime, also very good. Knuckles, which I forgot came out, but
Wait, it came out?
On Paramount Plus, yeah.
Oh, that's why I haven't.
Which
I don't
everyone
have
has.
Paramount Plus.
Yeah. What do you mean? Everybody has
I
Paramount.
don't have Paramount.
What, you don't
Plus.
have it with your like HBO subscription or whatever?
Too poor to have all
they'll
these
like give it to you if you have Verizon or something. You know, it's just one of those things. Yeah, so that came out. I think kind of middle of the year. I'm pretty sure. Like a Dragon Yakuza. I think that was on Prime.
Yes.
Okay, and I haven't seen it. I think it just came out. Did it? Or
I think it's been out actually.
really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I must have missed it.
I haven't seen it.
I was
though.
pretty interested in that. Okay. And then Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, which is like an anime style.
Animated. I don't think it's anime. I think it's like North American
it's
animation.
Just, okay, traditional.
On
okay,
Netflix.
Gotcha. Yep. So there you go. What do you guys think? The only one of these I've seen is Fallout.
Fallout's pretty good.
Yeah,
From
I
what
like
I've
it a
seen.
lot. But I think Arcane, just everyone's so blown away by Arcane, you know.
Animation is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely stellar. And I love like the colors that are used in it too. It's just
This one's tough.
Okay.
Because the Tomb Raider show is decent.
Oh.
It's well done by Netflix. The Fallout show exceeded my expectations for a Fallout adaptation.
Yeah.
As a lover of the franchise, I thought they knocked it out of the park. But Arcane, I think, is just levels beyond anything else on this list. Visual storytelling at its finest, brilliant voice acting. Yeah, I don't see how anyone is going to beat them, especially with it being a League of Legends adaptation. Not that the game that it's coming from should be determining the winner, but like League of Legends has an insanely huge following as compared to these other ones. So, it's unfortunate that Sonic 3 hasn't come out yet.
Right.
Because that's coming out in December.
Does it like tie in with Knuckles?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's part of the whole thing.
It's part of the whole like cinematic universe that they're doing with it. I think that
goodness.
one probably would have been nominated as well. The Sonic movies have been a lot of fun.
they actually have been, and I just like Jim Carrey's been giving it his all.
I know.
It's really funny because I think he said that he wanted to go into retirement, but if there was a script that was like written in gold ink or something that he
It was
found
Sonic.
just so amazing, he would come back and it was Sonic.
And he's been killing it.
Dude.
Love that. So
It's
so much
little did we know it
passion.
was the role of his lifetime.
yeah,
Just incredible.
it looks like he's having so much fun.
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all noticed, but his costume has been getting closer and closer to what Robotnik looks like in the game.
Is he getting like bigger?
Well, his okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find a comparison. Because like his mustache, just like hold on.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw that video of him getting his hair cut for it, and I guess that was real.
Yeah, it's in Sonic 3.
That's pretty funny. Nice.
So yeah, I think Arcane will definitely win, as it should. Also, I think it's funny that Ella Purnell is the star of 2 of these adaptations. She's the Vault Dweller from Fallout. And she's also Jinx in Arcane.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow.
She's a voice actress.
Haven't seen Arcane. Don't get mad at me.
Yeah, she's killing it. Good for her.
Nice.
She's also in a show called Yellow Jackets, which is on, I think MGM or something like that. But that's also like where she got big as well. So really excited to see that she's getting a lot of work.
Okay, like here it is. So you can see it a little better in like the corners.
Oh,
like,
yeah, okay.
He's lost his hair. They've given her sorry.
That guy.
They've given him a bigger and crazier mustache, and they've improved the goggles. It's just
nice. Getting more accurate.
Yeah, more accurate. He becomes Robotnik.
Nice. I'm loving. I can't wait for that movie. So
good awesome stuff. We'll all go see. You got to dress in a suit when you go see Sonic. It's very, very fancy.
2 tickets.
All right, I'm going to cover 2 more. So we got best multiplayer real quick.
Yep.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree. That was a very interesting one, I thought. And then Tekken 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually, hot take here, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, I think should have been in the Game of the Year category as well.
Okay. Who should it have replaced?
Shadow of the Earth Tree.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. If we're going based on like the quality of the game, though,
I am.
Really? Okay.
I think Space Marine 2, it's my Game of the Year, I think.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Like if we do our show later on, Space Marine 2 is the most complete game I've played, new release this year, that I've enjoyed every capacity. Single player, multiplayer, the soundtrack, the story, the animations, graphic fidelity, performance, everything about it. It's the perfect game that released, in my opinion.
Man,
really liked it,
and it's only $40.
And it's only $40. Ooh. I did pre-order it and get like the super deluxe edition.
They got you.
Nice.
They did give me, and it's great.
You wanted to be an ultramarine.
Yeah, well, that's what we are. Yeah. Ultramarines. Emperor protects us.
I don't know 40K lore. I'm sorry.
It's awesome. Love it. But I definitely think Black Ops 6 is probably going to win.
Yeah, it just really made a huge splash when it came out. Helldivers 2 fell off.
Hard.
Or it would have, I think, taken it.
Agreed.
And then Mario Party Jamboree is crazy that it's in here. It just came out, and it did not make a big enough impact, I didn't think. But
I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, exactly. People totally didn't even know it was out. I bought it because I'm a big fan of Mario Party. But yeah,
I have a
weird.
very antagonistic relationship with Mario Party.
Don't we all? Yeah.
Welcome
like,
into the club.
I just think the AI is out to get you. Because whoever they say, oh, here's what I think is here's who I think is gonna win.
Yeah, that's
like,
who. Yeah.
That's pretty much who wins because they rig the games to make it that prediction true.
Oh yeah, I used to play a lot of the N64 one, and I noticed that every time the predictions would come out, it would usually be 3rd or 4th. And that person would usually win, no matter who it is. It's pretty crazy. But, who knows? I think it's all a big conspiracy, man.
Oh, conspiracy.
Well, I think I'll go with Black Ops 6 just because it's probably has some recency bias, too.
Yeah,
it just came out pretty recently.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But there you go. All right, last one. We'll do Best Independent Game. Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50. So Balatro also got nominated for Game of the Year, so we'll just go ahead and say that one's probably gonna get it.
Yeah, I think that one's probably gonna win.
But I did see some stuff about UFO 50, and that's a really interesting game. So if you guys have played games that have like kind of compilations of old arcade games and stuff like that, there's this company that makes they made the Atari 50 collection, where it's a bunch of old Atari games from the 70s and 80s, like games like Breakout and Pong, really old arcade games, collected in a really nice collection on modern consoles, and you can play it like through a timeline feature, and it has like documentary footage and interviews with the people that worked there at the time. Like Nolan Bushnell interviews are in it, the CEO at the time, and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. So it's a big collection of all that, and you can play the games, and it's like presented in a nice like museum type setting. So UFO 50 is like a fake version of that. So they've created like a fake video game company from the 70s, and they put like they put 50 games in it that like would have been made by this company. So that was pretty cool, I thought. So I'm really glad to see them in here. I thought that was a really, really cool idea.
Very creative.
That is neat.
Yeah. Did you guys play any of these? Because I've only seen stuff about Balatro, UFO 50. I've seen a little bit about Animal Well, but I really don't know what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight best indie game because I like to do that. Yeah, any thoughts on best indie? Did you guys play any indie games that aren't on here at all?
Unfortunately, no.
Right.
This semester has been a lot for me.
So you're just a bad gamer. I mean, that's fine.
You know what? I'm willing to say that. Like the only game really I've been able to play, and even then it was not that much, has been Slay the Princess.
Nice.
Cause like,
well, that's an indie. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that is an indie. So I guess I have played some indie recently, but it's just been a semester for me. Yeah. Otherwise, I would be a lot more informed.
What happened? A hurricane or something?
Oh yeah,
crazy.
Totally.
Not like we lost power for a month or anything.
Yeah, weird. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm gonna, I'll pick Balatro for this one just because it's in the running for Game of the Year. So.
I've seen some of Neva as well. I can't remember if that's pronounced
or Neva. I'm not sure.
Really interesting art style on that one. Very, very beautiful. Nice little sad indie game. So that one also probably is going to get some votes. I wanted to touch on one more thing in one of the other categories. We don't have to go in depth on it, but
I actually wanted one more too, so go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I was going to go into the best action and adventure.
Okay.
If you look, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
I was just about to
got nominated.
Yeah, I was just about to say they were kind of snubbed. That was my pick for like a snub. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I really like Metroidvanias, so I liked it a lot.
That was one of the first games we reviewed this year on the podcast, released in January. And that studio got shut down by Ubisoft. Remember?
They did.
And now they're nominated for best action adventure game. So I thought that was interesting that they didn't really hit critical commercial success, I guess. I didn't think it flopped.
No, it reviewed well. It was just a smaller title.
Yeah.
Just didn't sell that well, I guess. But it reviewed really high. Everybody really enjoyed it. And then it also came out with some extra content later on during its release.
Yeah.
So the studio was still working on it and everything. And from what I understand, and I could be wrong, but I think when we reported on this, they were still working on content for the game when they got shut down. Which just really stinks. So, yeah, I'm really glad to see The Lost Crown. I thought they got snubbed in Game of the Year, just a little bit. But, so that would be my pick instead of, if we're going to not have Shadow of the Erd Tree, maybe Prince of Persia.
Okay.
So that's just what I think. Yeah. Isabel, any thoughts on Best Action Adventure? Really, I mean, the only differences here, so Astrobot, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws is on here.
Yeah, that was one I was going to mention because I know they recently did an update where they got rid of forced stealth.
Oh,
so before it was that whenever you had a stealth mission, if you got caught, you would have to reset to the beginning. But now they fixed it so that if you do get caught, you can go in guns blazing.
Nice.
That's a great addition because that would be very frustrating.
Yeah. And it's not really like Ubisoft style either. That's a little weird that they did that, Yeah.
Interesting. It's just a peeve for me is stealth missions because more than likely than not, I'm going to fail a stealth mission. And so I have to usually repeat those 3 or 4 times before succeeding, no matter the game.
Yeah.
Because I guess I'm not stealthy.
I'm not sneaky. Yeah.
I'm not sneaky. And it's also cool to see Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom on here too.
It's on there.
Especially because you play as Zelda in it. So I thought that was neat.
That actually reviewed pretty well when it came out. So good to see that. I didn't play Star Wars Outlaws. I am a big sucker for Ubisoft style open world games though, so I would probably like it. Especially if you say they updated it and maybe fixed a problem. I did hear that was a big problem that people were having with the game, so that's nice that they updated it.
When are you going to hop on Avatar Frontiers of Pandora and show my Na'vi game some love.
All right. Well, I'll get my wife off my back for Tears of the Kingdom, and then I'll get Noah off my back for Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
Talk about Ubisoft Open World. That's the pinnacle.
Well, okay. So I did just play Far Cry 5.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty recently.
How was it?
I loved it. Yeah, loved it. Yeah. I wanted to play it because I played Far Cry 6, and I was like, nah.
Never played a Far Cry game.
They're pretty nice. If you like Frontiers of Pandora, then you would definitely like a Far Cry game. Just take your pick, man. Pick any of them, honestly.
Far Cry Primal. Okay. What?
Damn it. You picked the worst one.
No, wait. That's exactly... I thought
Really?
you said pick anyone.
Yeah, you're right. I would pick 3. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there you go. All right. I did want to talk about one other category here, just out of a curiosity thing. Most anticipated game, which is for some reason a category in the Game Awards.
Interesting.
All right. I just wanted to get you guys' take. Most anticipated game. Death Stranding 2. Ghost of Yotei, which is the Ghost of Tsushima sequel.
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, yeah. Metroid Prime 4. That's Cody's most anticipated, I think. Or Monster Hunter Wilds. All right. So this is a fun one.
This is a big category.
Yeah. No stakes. So it's fun. It's just, just pick whatever. Dude, I am so torn between 3 of these. What do y'all think?
My pick is actually not on this list.
Oh,
Ooh, what's your pick?
I think Cody could probably guess.
Frontiers of Pandora 2.
DLC.
Yeah. Like a game of the year if it's DLC.
Yeah, if only. No, my most anticipated game is coming out in February of next year, and that would be Avowed.
Oh, right.
By Obsidian Entertainment. That's my most anticipated. I'm a sucker for everything Obsidian makes, and especially first-person Western role-playing games like that. So yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
Nice.
Surprised that it didn't make it on most anticipated game, but these are very big titles, so
they're bangers,
I'm not too surprised.
Isabel, thoughts?
I'm thinking Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, that's
Good one.
It just they just had a beta for it, didn't they? And it got really pretty high praise for the beta.
It's looking really good.
Yeah, people really liked it.
I'm excited for it.
I am really torn between. Okay, my top 2 probably Ghost of Yotei because I love Ghost of Tsushima and Metroid Prime 4.
It's been so
long. Look at that. There's
right there.
Samus right there. That's Samus from Metroid Fusion. So I'm cool.
The Arm of Fame.
Yeah. Dude. So the only reason I'm not going to say Metroid Prime 4 is because we've been waiting for it for so long that now the fans have pretty much just become cynical about it. And they're like, oh, it's never going to come out. So I think I'm going to pick Ghost of Yotei because there's probably a better shot of that coming out before Metroid Prime 4. But man, oh man, I hope we see something more about Metroid Prime 4. Made it rhyme anytime.
I think GTA 6 is probably going to win.
Yeah, I think so too.
Unfortunately.
Just because it's called GTA.
Yep.
But I think my most anticipated is Ghost of Yotei. Very closely followed by Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. So yeah,
I wanted to give one more shout out to the best esports player category because there's some interesting nominees in there. But I think the person who is obviously going to win, and deservedly so, is going to be Faker from T1 League of Legends. He finished his 5th world championship this year.
Whoa.
2-time world's MVP. So he is the best in the largest esports scene in the entire world. And he has been dominant for the last basically 10 years.
Wow.
So I think he's obviously going to win best esports athlete because he's the reigning champ. And I just think it's really cool that we have that as a category. And he is like the Michael Jordan of esports right now. I mean, he's been playing for 10 years and he's won 5 world championships in League of Legends.
Wow.
He won the Esports World Cup as well, and was the Esports World Cup MVP. So technically 2 champions last year. Yeah, he's insane. So really excited to see him get on that stage and accept that.
Nice.
Accept that award.
Well, there's a lot more categories in the Game Awards, but we're running out of time, so we won't go through all of them. But you can check it out at thegameawards.com and see all the nominees, and check it out on December 12th. And we'll get some live stream information for you because I definitely think we should have a watch party for it. That'd be pretty fun.
Think we should.
Definitely think we should. All right, here, let's get into the last story before we go today. Sony could be in talks to buy Kadokawa, which is a big old company that owns a little studio called From Software. And From Software makes a little video game called Elden Ring, which we were just talking about. And of course, the Dark Souls series. They also own Spike Chunsoft, which is the creator of the Budokai Tenkaichi series. So they just had a game release called Sparking Zero.
Yeah.
So, yep, they are also up for grabs, as it were. And then they also own a studio called Acquire. And Acquire, they made a game in the 90s called Tenchu, which was like a stealth game. But more recently, they made, get this, Mario and Luigi Brothership. That's them. They also made, what is the other? Oh, they co-developed the Octopath Traveler games with the Square Enix creative business unit.
Interesting.
Yeah. So some big companies up for grabs. They also, Kadokawa is a parent company of FromSoft. Excuse me. And they also own several anime studios.
Yep.
So Sony is not only trying to get them from FromSoft and like Spike Chunsoft and Acquire, but they also want the animation studios that they have.
Sony Entertainment.
Yeah. And so they're always talking about trying to diversify while also shutting down studios. But that's a conversation for another time. But this is just another way they're trying to diversify and get more into kind of all aspects of entertainment. So there you go. What do you guys think about this? Do you want to see From Software get bought completely by Sony? They already owned a little stake in them, but what do you guys think about FromSoft being owned completely by Sony?
I think this is just this is Sony coming in for the kill, because this business, like the parent company from FromSoft, has kind of been reeling in the last few years. They were just recently hit with a huge cyber attack in June that leaked like a ton of data about their business activities. So that's like plummeted their value, which is why I think Sony's gearing up to make this move, because now they actually have the liquidation to do that. Also, about 2 years ago, the son of the company's founder resigned as chairman because he was indicted on bribery charges related to the Tokyo Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Did not expect that.
Yeah. Crazy lore coming in from that. So I think Sony's like seeing that they're kind of exposed right now and vulnerable and, less value. So they're going to try and swoop in and use that to expand their growing portfolio.
Yeah. They are the ones that initiated talks, is from what I'm hearing. Sony's actually trying to go after them. It's also worth noting that Sony has acquired Crunchyroll, so they're definitely trying to expand into more anime. Isabel, what do you think about this?
I have issues with bigger companies taking so many small companies too fast and too much, because I do believe that competition breeds innovation.
Yeah.
And if we just have like one or two big companies over several smaller ones, then we might start seeing like a lack of innovation, like not enough risk.
Yeah.
Like the name of the game, like I see this more often with movies, but there's been less risk recently. And I think risk is important, because then we get really cool stuff from it. Because, it's like a gamble, high risk, high reward. But if you play it safe too much, then things start to get boring.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that, Isabel. Playing it safe makes things boring. You're right. And guess what company we're talking about? Sony. And guess what game Sony just made that failed? Concord. And you know why it failed? From what I hear, it was just too bland. They didn't take any risks. It wasn't unique enough in a space that requires you to be completely unique to stand out in games like Overwatch. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see them now try and take another company. And then I think people are going to share the same fears that, is this going to stagnate their creativity? I do think Sony, if this happens, will view FromSoft as their little baby and maybe not mess with them. If they're smart, that's what they do. Who knows what will happen, and who knows even if anything's going to happen. This is just rumors.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to see this happen. I want FromSoft to remain FromSoft. They definitely already have business ties with Sony. Sony owns, I think, like 12% of FromSoft or something like that, just a little bit. Yeah, I don't like the idea of it. That's pretty much it.
Is it a bad thing to say that if this happens, maybe we see Bloodborne 2?
We will never see Bloodborne 2. We will never see Bloodborne 2, and we will never see a Bloodborne remaster.
But if Sony owns FromSoft, maybe...
No way. Ain't no way. I don't know. That's just the pipe dream of all pipe dreams.
Holding out hope.
We'll see. That'd be cool. I hope so. And then I might actually play it.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Probably not. I'm just kidding. Well, that's all we have time for today here on the Gamer Guild podcast. Isabel Brown, thanks so much for joining us. Really glad to have you.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed my time here.
You're welcome. Come back next time, and hopefully we'll have this watch party going on. We'll send you all the details for it and let you know what's going on. And that's all we have for you today. From all of us here at the Gamer Guild podcast, I've been Cody Robertson. Have a good one.
See ya.
The Gamer Guild podcast is recorded at Augusta University's TVC lab. Our producer is Jasmine Garcia. Music is by Ethan Balducci. The opinions stated are that of the individual and not Augusta University.